Welcome guys to another episode of Eye of Terror. As you know, I'm your channel host Adam, and today I'm here to talk about the new Saar and their tactics cards. So I had been perusing the new Gang War 3 book, as well as the tactics cards for the Saar. It's a gang that I'm very excited for. I love the aesthetics of these guys. Almost the arachnid / insectoid look with some of their helmets, and just some of their story that I've been reading about them. Really has me curious, or fancied, I guess you can say, and I'm really enjoying it. So I got my hands on my Gang War 3 book, did a quick perusal, read over the Saar section, and a couple of things jumped out at me first. So unlike the other gangs that came out previously, so the Escher, the Goliaths, and the Orlocks, Saar actually has a full page. Let me just flip to it. A full page of house equipment lists. So it's like the expanded one that you've been seeing released from GW, I should say Forge World, once the new sets come out. The kits, weapon upgrade kits. The Goliath and Escher have both received a new house list for that. So this basically, instead of waiting for the Forge World kit, if it comes for one, it's put out already. And it has some pretty nice weapons in there. So that was the first thing that sort of jumped out at me, was how many weapons and options that they had available to them, House Saar. One of the other ones that I found very interesting is to play to the aesthetics or the story of House Saar. They actually have something that inhibits them a little bit. So they have, instead of being able to increase your toughness through experience twice, so +2, Saars can only do it to a +1. So they start off as toughness 3, but they can only go up to toughness 4 instead of toughness 5, like most toughness 3 models that you have in your gang. So that's pretty cool. So the basic breakdown of the gang is the exact same thing. You have 1 leader and then 2 champions. Then for every 10 full points of reputation, you take another champion. You have your Juves and your fighters as well. And again, they're all allowed to have 3 weapons each, unless they're using an unwieldy weapon. Then again, of course, it's only 2, because that takes up a slot of 2 weapons. Let's see the skills. So the skills for the Saar, obviously they're quite shooty, and they're not quite the best in melee. Like for the most part, everybody has a 4+ weapon skill, minus the Juve, who has a 5+. So for the leader, their primary stats are leadership, shooting, and savant. That should be quite expected. They are based around shooting and technology, so that makes sense. Secondary is cunning and agility, so that's pretty good. The only difference for that is the Juve itself. Its skill tree, its primary is agility, and then secondary is shooting and savant. So they are quite agile. I should say they can become quite agile, or quite good with moving in that sense. So another key thing, I said they were quite shooty. Your heroes, or I should say your heroes, your leaders and your champions, they have a 2+ ballistic skill, which is fantastic. That's not including aiming with their weapons. That's not including having any range modifiers with, say, their lasers, because they have multiple types of las guns that they can take. And then your regular gangers, instead of having a ballistic skill 4+, like most gangs, they have a ballistic skill 3+. Your Juve, though, has a ballistic skill 4+. So that's pretty interesting. I am liking the Saars. They seem like it's gonna be a war of attrition. If you can get across the board to the Saars, that's where you're going to capitalize. But if you can't, they're just going to shoot you and keep on shooting you. So that's quite interesting. They have their armored glove special rule, which is actually, it's sort of like the, what is it called? The armored undersuit. It's something that you can combine with other armor. So you can buy flak armor or mesh armor or what other the other types of armors that you can find in this book, because there's carapace armor as well, both light and heavy, and you can combine that with your armored body glove. So you get to stack a +1 armor modifier onto that, as well as other bonuses when it comes to, say, rad guns and stuff like that. So that's pretty good. They have an energy shield. This energy shield is a melee weapon, B, also increases armor as well. So they, I'm thinking, will be able to get quite high into their armor bonuses. So in melee, as an example, this shield, the, what is it called? The High Star Pattern Energy Strar, S-T-A, or S-T-R-A-R, not High Star, sorry. Pattern energy shield. Either way, it gives you +2 modifier to a maximum of 2+ against melee attacks in your front arc, and then with shooting, it gives you a +1. So I'm like, that's gonna be pretty good. So you stack that on top of like a carapace armor, a light carapace armor at that. That gives you a 4+ automatically. You get 3+ from your armor or from your body glove. And then that gives you another +1 to shooting at 2+, or 2+ in melee. That's out there. I think that's good. But again, not everybody can take it, right? So it is a melee weapon, but like your Jews can't take it, but everybody else, I guess, can. So yeah, I would definitely be buying that. It is 50 credits, so it does cost a little bit, but when you combine that with some other stuff, like I already have ideas in my head of my leader having a combi las / plasma gun, or melta, I'm not sure what one, with a either like a, I don't know, las subcarbine or a plasma pistol, and then a one of the shields. So that way it still has 2 attacks, or the bonus attack in shooting or in melee as well. So one thing, going back to attacks actually, the champions, just like the acolytes that I use in my Gene Stealer call currently, only have 1 attack. Leader does have 2 attacks, but again, not a melee based army, and if you get into melee, it's going to be as a last resort, I think, for these guys. So that is that. The book itself, go out and buy it, has a ton of stuff. I think it's something like 9 new scenarios that you can throw in there, and it gives you some scenarios for playing multiplayer games, which is really cool. And then yeah, it gives you the rules for your brutes and other new hanger-ons, the brutes I should say, and then they have the Ambot and the Ogren in here. What is it called? Where are you? Yeah, so the, what is it, Luther Pattern, so yeah, you got the Ambot, and then you got the Servitor, or Ogren is what it is. That's what it is. But so then on top of that, you have all your pets and stuff, which is bought as war gear, and then new campaign rules, which is awesome. So definitely go get that book. But sticking to the Vansar, before promoting that book, I'll probably end up doing another review. If you guys want, just leave your questions below, and I'll try to answer them as much or as best as I can. But we'll go to the tactics cards next. So the tactics cards, they are what we got here. I went out and bought basically a box of the new Vansar models, the dice, the tactics cards for them, Gang War 3 obviously and stuff like that, so really, really good. I picked out a few that really stand out to me that I am looking forward to use. So there's 5 of the new Vansar ones. Let me see how many new Vansar cards are actually in here. Yeah, so 5 of the new 10 or so Vansar cards, maybe 12 Vansar cards, and then 1 of the basic gang tactics. So let's do the Vansar ones first. So auto healer. Probably can't read it from here, but that's all right. So the auto healer, play this card at the start of any end phase. Choose 1 seriously injured fighter. Rather than rolling the injury dice, choose that to have that fighter suffer a flesh wound. So if you have someone that's seriously injured, this is going to be your key. Say he's your leader and he's seriously injured, doesn't have any flesh wounds or anything like that. That will be your key to get him back into the game. So auto healer for the win. I think that, when I get to pick a card for these guys, is going to be a good one, or one that's in my hands quite often. Up next is Enhanced Auspex. play this card instead of activating a fighter. For the remainder of the round, friendly fighters may fire through line of sight blocking terrain such as doors and barricades, but not through any impassable terrain. These shots suffer a -2 penalty to hit, and the target's armor save is increased by 1. So that's interesting. Couple of things with this one. Most of the buildings that I have, like that have doors and such, you can't see through them, but this allows you to, and allows you to shoot at the people on the other side with the -2 hit. But that's all key and all good and all, but what it also allows you to do is you skip an activation. So if you want to stall, see what your player is doing, you play this one. And then that allows you to stall, and everybody after that can do their shooting. So it sort of has a couple things that you can play with up there. They do get their armor saves increased by 1, but I think really, like for the games that I've played so far, I haven't seen anybody with a huge armor save, and if you're shooting them with a range, some of your guns have a minus anyway, so it will sort of balance itself out. Like some guys, I think the highest I've seen so far in my campaign is a 5+ armor save. So if I shoot somebody with a -1 AP and they get a +1, I'm okay with 5+, because it's only 33% that they're going to make that armor save. But either way, and that's not including if I shoot them with like a maximal power plasma gun or something like that, which I do plan on having in this gang. So experimental rig is the next one that I wanted to chat about. Choose a weapon possessed by a friendly fighter for the duration of the game. This weapon increases its long range by 6 inches and its strength by 1, but loses the plentiful trait and it gains the scarce trait if it does not have it. So basically you're going to give this extra range, extra strength, but if you fail your ammo check, you're kind of up shit creek without a paddle, as they say. But I think it's good if you can make sure your guy is by an ammo crate, or ammo cache, sorry. You can basically ensure that you're able to get your weapon back, or hopefully get your weapon back. Or if you have a lucky find as a tactics card as well, you play those two off one another, so that way you automatically get to reload that weapon and keep on firing. And again, that's if that ammo check comes up. Who knows, it might not for your game, but that would be something, because I could see myself putting that onto like a long las. All of a sudden it has a strength 5 shot. I don't know, or even just a las gun with a hotshot las pack, because that's also in the book as well, so that's pretty cool. Hyper auto loader. Play this when a fighter makes a ranged attack. If the fighter is using a weapon with a rapid fire trait, they may roll 2 extra firepower dice. After working out the effects of the shot, the ranged weapon automatically counts as failed ammo check, regardless of the results of the firepower dice. So that's a lot. So if you have a gun that has 2 firepower dice already, like a heavy stubber, and you use that, you're now 4 rapid firepower dice to see how many shots you get. That's going to be a lot. So that's going to be interesting. No, we'll see. That's a Vansar only. They can get, anybody can get heavy stubbers. They're in the trading post and that. So it's I can't remember off the top of my head if it's on their list. I don't think it is actually, but they're more high tech than the bullets, I believe. But either way, so that's going to be fun to play with. I can see myself using that every once in a while. Again, these are just ones I picked out quickly that I thought were quite interesting. Up next, another Vansar Tactics card, Overcharge. For the duration of the fighter's activation, one of their las or plasma ranged weapons increases their strength by 2. That's cool. So you really want to take somebody down, you only have a strength 3 las. Oh, it's now a strength 5. That Goliath standing in front of you just has a las shot to his head. At least that's how I would probably try to play it. Key priority target you want to take out, use that. There you go. And then lastly, this is good for not just the Vansar. It is a Gang's Tactics card called Combat Drugs. Combat Drugs does the following. So play when fighter makes a melee attack. For the duration of this turn, the fighter gains D3 additional attacks. However, should the fighter gain the full 3 additional attacks, they will automatically suffer a flesh wound at the end of the activation. So it makes your guy really melee based. I can only imagine this on like a Orlok leader that has 3 attacks. I believe their gang leaders have 3 attacks. I haven't used the Orloks yet, but I did finish painting mine today. And somebody will be using them in our next campaign. I'm not sure who. But yeah, or a Goliath after he's Berserk charged into somebody playing this card. That's going to be insane. So those are the cards that I picked. That's a quick overview of the Van Saar. I'm looking forward to getting them all built and painted in that. For the next campaign, I'm hoping to use the Van Saar as my gang. That's if my friends don't want to use it, because I'll probably let them use it if they do, just so I'm, be nice that way, because I'm supporting them at this point in time, trying to get them to buy their own stuff and that, and so I'll just lend them mine until. But anyhow, guys, that's a quick overview of the Van Saar and the gang. If you have any questions, again, about Gang of War 3, leave them in the comments below. I'll gladly answer them and hopefully get that up to you shortly. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, ignite your hobby.